So can we get started, Clifford?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So everyone, welcome to the Alchemon AMA. I think we'll just get started by just talking about like the normal format that we'll be doing, the prizes, and then we can get started with introductions. So this is Dean from the Algo Gaming Guild, and we have Aaron on as well. This AMA will run the way we usually do them. So we'll do introductions, then we have a whole bunch of questions from the community, which we have put into different categories just to give a bit of structure. And then there is 20 set 5 Alchemon to give away, thanks to the Alchemon team that gave them for the giveaway. That we will probably just do the draw after the space offline, and it'll just be using everyone who's submitted questions into the AMA channel in our Discord, and we will probably just at everyone in there with the prize winners at the end. We have a lot of questions. I think it's like 41. So I don't know if we'll be able to like take community questions at the end, but if anyone does have anything they want us to ask during the space, you can just drop it in the AMA channel or write it on the tweet that I've tagged to the top, and we can try and cover it. Okay, so I think we can get started. So I think if you guys can just introduce yourselves and give a little bit of a background into each of you.
Yeah, you all know me. I'm Clifford. I'm the CEO and co-creator of Alchemon. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that to keep it brief.
Hey there, this is... Oh, can you hear me? Yeah, this is Forrest. I'm the lead game developer on Alchemon. And yeah, I'll keep it pretty brief too.
Yeah. I'm Hannah, and I am the CTO at Alchemon.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for joining us. So what we'll do is all the questions, like none of them are specifically asked to any of you. Like you guys can just do whoever's best to answer the question at a time. You can answer it. So I think before we get started, just for anyone who... Oh, and by the way, so this will be recorded. It'll be on YouTube. So for anyone that's listening or listens to the recording who's never heard of Alchemon before, can you guys just give like a little bit of a short overview into the game and like how it works?
Yeah, so we started as a way, we're just going to be a collection card game. We started as a way to add utility and to give people purposes to buy, trade, and sell NFTs. And one of the big things we wanted to do with NFTs is make it so you could be a part of a community and not have to sell your NFTs to extract value out of it. So that's how this whole thing started, was what can we do to create a way for people to want to collect, but also not have the only way for them to extract value is to sell and get out of the community, because we see that as a giant dichotomy in the NFT space. So that's how it all started. We called it a game to call it a collection card game, and everyone, automatically said, well, where's the game? Where's the game? Where's the game? And so then we teamed up with the current president, who is Jack Stanley. We teamed up with him and Hannah, and then started hiring on developers and started developing a game. So this did kind of all come out of nowhere, but we're really happy with the directions it's gone, and are building a game for the Alchemon NFTs to battle and further on from there.
Awesome, that's super interesting, thanks. So I think one of the questions we had before we move on to the questions that were submitted on Discord is like, what led to like the original idea of like Alchemon?
Yeah, so kind of what I stated before, this came up when, Stitch was just getting off the ground with Yieldling, and those were just starting to pop off. And, I was flipping NFTs at the time, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I could create a project. But I really wanted to kind of go against the normalness of the NFT market, which, is basically based on, exclusivity, like the in crowd and the out crowd. And the only way, like I mentioned before, the only way to extract value is to sell what you have and get out of that community. So we really wanted to go against, the regular NFT ways of doing things with NFTs. And that's why we did multi-mints, which, at the time was, literally a crazy idea. I think a lot of newer players and stuff don't understand how novel most of the stuff we have done. We were definitely one of the first NFT projects with wallet staking. We had to figure out how to pay people for their Alchemon cards that they have in their wallet. We had to go about all that. So we just wanted to push the limits of everything we could and kind of do an NFT project that went against all normalness of NFT projects, and that then it led to evolvable NFTs. And then what do you evolve? And so, growing up with Pokemon, it was like, oh, well, we can emulate this. We can have a giant homage to Pokemon and have evolvable characters that multiple people can own. So that's kind of how everything started.
I even remember when you guys, I think it was set 4, where I don't know if it was NFT Explorer or one of them couldn't recognize your set because you had more than 1,000 or something like that. So I definitely know what you guys mean by like pushing the envelope on a lot of the things in the NFT space on Algorand. Okay, so the first category that we're going to dive into is on like game specifics and just talking about the game. So the first question we had is from Stud22, and they asked, for those just encountering Alchemon for the first time, what is the best way to get started playing?
Yeah, so I can take that. So right now, the best way to get started is you definitely need at least 3 Alchemon cards. So we're all over the aftermarket where you can find stuff via NFT Explorer. We also have a dedicated Rand shop where all the commons are on there. And now just recently we've started selling directly on our website via smart contracts. So all you need is 3 Alchemon cards. And then also one thing you're definitely going to want to do is approve AlchaCoin, so you can receive that, and also approve what we call the stake flag. And that's just you opting into receiving your share of AlchaCoin every week. So once you've got 3 cards and approved those 2 things, then you can download the game, hop in and play. The game's a little rough if you just have those 3 commons, so we do recommend that people upgrade, but it makes the gaming experience a lot more faster and more fun because it kind of drags out a little bit with the commons, but that's by design because we want the quality of life in the game to improve as you have better cards. But all you need are the 3 commons, approve those 2 assets to get rewarded, and then you can download the game and play.
Awesome. The next question we have, which is from AO, which I think is more of a strategy sort of question, just said, what's your advice for people who are thinking about playing for the first time as far as gameplay strategy and getting off to a good start?
Let's kick that one over to Forrest.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say, we do include a lot in the game as to like what types are valuable against other types. There's a lot of water is effective against fire, stuff like that. So we include all that information in the game, so you can see that kind of that wheel and how that all works. But honestly, just getting in there and just trying out a couple battles and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and learning like what the opponents. Currently, all of the opponents are just computer players until we implement PvP. But like learning, what kind of moves they make when they do certain things, you can kind of figure out a pattern there and sort of learn that. But I think, the biggest thing is just getting in there and just testing it out. It doesn't really matter if you're good or bad at the beginning because there's not really any harm to losing. It's just experience. And you will gain experience once that's in the game. No matter you win or lose, you'll still be gaining, something out of the game.
Awesome. I think that's good advice. So the next question we had from Stat22 is, what sets Alchemon apart from other games in Algorand, from other play-to-earn games in general?
Yeah, so we are, I call us NFT first, which I don't know if that means anything to anyone else, but, we based our building blocks are off of creating NFTs first, not creating a game to then shoehorn NFTs into. But also we're very much community first. This whole thing has been driven along by the demands of the community. So we're literally just doing what our players want us to do. And that's very different than just someone, not that there's anything wrong with this, someone getting a bunch of funding and just launching and hoping people will like it. We've started from the bottom, and every building block we've put in place has been one after another due to demands and what the community wants to see.
Yeah, I think I've definitely seen that when I got involved in your guys' community in I think just before set 3. That's just very community focused, which I think is a great approach. Okay, then we have a few questions from Algo Mike 2030. The first one is, when will the full game release version 1.1 come out?
I'll leave that to Forrest as well.
Yeah, good question. So as a lot of you know, we just updated our roadmap, and due to just trying our hardest to secure things and make sure everything is nice and tight and clean, and there's no room for any sort of hacks, we pushed it back slightly. But we were looking at a hopefully beginning to mid-September release, definitely within the month of September. So as soon as we can get it out, if it's earlier, that would be great. But that's kind of what we're looking at. And that version will include quite a few upgrades from the current version, obviously. But we're also planning on releasing a beta 2.0 update in the next within the next month, which will include some of the new additions like leveling in game. Hopefully, we're going to have the attack ASAs purchasable and equipable in game. That's coming along really nicely. So even before the main release comes out, we will have another big update.
Awesome. I think, the timing for full game release will be great with the convention we have planned. So that's great to hear. So now the question from Algo Mark, will there be rewards and achievements to accomplish in the full game release other than the Elk rewards from winning a battle?
Yeah, we definitely want an achievement and badge system. It's just basically on our to-do list. It's just something that keeps being less of a priority. It is something that we really want to do, but just these in-game functionalities are much more important. But yeah, it's definitely on the plan, and it's just, it's just going to be, we're going to be minting a ton of these achievement NFTs, or do we just keep them in game? We already know and are aware that we are taking a lot of spaces in a lot of people's wallets. It's unlimited now, which is good, but we don't know the exact design itinerary on that, but we definitely know that we want a full and a full achievement / badge system. It's just the design of it is getting kicked down the road due to the more important game design aspect.
Okay. Yeah, it's great to hear that you guys will have that in game eventually. Then the last question in this category from Algo Mark is, do any of the systems change, i.e. weekly staking, crafting, etc., when the full game release comes out?
So the thing that is going to change is the rewards in game will change from Alchacoin to Alka Gold. Right now, if anyone's been paying attention, you'll know that we are definitely doing our best to earn Alchacoin back. So we need to turn this system of just giving out tons of Alchacoin to people, we need to turn it into a cycle. And that's what our design mindset has been on a lot in the past couple months. So we've got the toys that are, collectible NFTs for Alchacoin. We also are doing the crafting of this set for Alchacoin to earn some back. And then the special attacks, the first release of them will definitely be in Alchacoin. So we are planning to not change rewards and things like that to change the amount of rewards, but that does depend on how well we can earn back the Alchacoin. So basically, it's just a simple formula of, can we earn enough Alchacoin back with how much we're paying out? What is the next set release going to look like once we start doubling the amount of Alchacoin we're paying out now? And it's definitely not going to be the end of the world. It's just we will have to make some tough decisions, which I'm hoping by the time, if we have to make these decisions, that it'll be something that the community will decide via governance. But, we do have plenty of options. In the model that we have now, we're definitely underpriced and over rewarding. And we know that. We're not dumb. But we plan to create a way to keep that, but just have avenues to earn back the ALC to keep the cycle going. If we can't, for whatever reason, we do have options of, just like we did with these packs with the, 2 Algo for buybacks, we'll just increase prices on things and build buybacks into, every transaction we make. If, then there's other options of, just, providing our own liquidity and earning Alcocoin via the liquidity pool to keep things going. So we do have plenty of options and things to ways to fix anything that goes wrong. But right now our plan is just to earn back the ALC the best way we can and keep the cycle going of that way. And we definitely have decisions to make if we can't do that, but the plan is just to make that happen.
Yeah, at least you guys are like recognizing that early. I know like a lot of the games in the blockchain space just sort of like release their game and the token eventually just continues to lose value as it gets distributed. So that's great. Okay, so next category we have is NFTs and in-game assets. I know we've got quite a few questions for these. The first one is from Elephant Eyelash and said, what is the function of the upcoming community set and how does it differ from the core sets?
Yeah, so I mean, it's basically its function is completely the same. It'll be a set of 15 Alchemon, and they'll be very much like the existing Alchemon. They'll be on cards, they're Alchemon cards. They'll be playable on game and all that. Just the design idea behind that is we basically want a way to collaborate with other people, to make Alchemon that represent, more the Algo fam than represent the Alchemon universe. And they may have other things like right now, for example, the ones we will be releasing, we do not intend to pay with Alcocoin for rewards. We do have ideas for other rewards for them. Well, not ideas, but an idea. We have a plan for that. So basically, the only difference in this one will be it'll be just like an existing set, except it's a collaboration set, and we'll be paying something else. So basically, it's just we want to have different ways to release cards that don't, completely impact the whole Alchemon universe, the main Alcadex, if you will.
That sounds like a great idea. Okay, next one, and there's a few questions now on sets, which probably overlap a little bit, but the Flowing River asked, how frequently do you plan to release sets?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, we will build into a cadence. We have, in the beginning, we're doing, the first few sets were only a few months apart. We minted more to kind of buy us some time to get development going, which has worked. But, right now, as things exist and at the growth we've gone for this past few months, I would say probably one set per quarter would be prudent. Obviously, we do want to pump up the user numbers, and an ideal would be like a set once every 2 months. But we'd need to grow a little faster than we've grown over probably the past 2 months to justify something like that. Like, we definitely don't want to be in a position where we just release so many cards that people are just like, oh, I don't want any more Alchemon. That's like the worst case scenario. So we're going to be keeping an eye on it. I would say right now at growth levels, we could probably see one per quarter. And obviously we'll be working hard to increase growth even faster. And ideally we would want to get to the point of like one set every 2 months.
Okay. Next question is from Lucky Me and said, how many sets are planned to be released?
Infinite. As long as we have people buying and playing our game, buying our NFTs and playing our game, they will be going on infinitely.
That's great to hear. Then from Algorand Mark, are there any plans to release another set of Alchemon this year?
Yeah, we'll definitely at least have one more this year. Absolutely. So we're hunkering down on the development stuff, but what is it? It's June. So yeah, I would definitely think that set 6 will be Q4 easily, if not Q3, maybe late Q3. So we don't have it exactly planned out. We're just focusing on the game right now. But yeah, we'll definitely be releasing at least one more set. And obviously we've got the community set in the works and in the talk, and wouldn't mind doing even another community set this year as long as this one goes well.
Okay, awesome. That also answers a question from Kremlin as well. Okay, so then we have a few questions on crafting. Charles Spirit asked, will crafting for set 4 Alchemon be opened again?
Only we're just doing a test run. So literally, we had some unsold packs from set 4 from the Discord shuffle, and we're testing that with our smart contract evolutions, quick evolves before we do the big thing on Saturday. So we have, I think it's like just under 30 legendaries and like, I don't know, 40 or 50 of each epic or something like that we will be doing with our smart contracts on our website. We're hoping to get that out tomorrow. We will announce the date and time as soon as we know we can make it. So the idea behind that is, we like that there's a small amount of them because we definitely want to, those are the things we want to test the most is, 100 people trying to grab 30 legendaries and then seeing the feedback and seeing the good and the bad and the ugly and see what we can fix before the big launch on Saturday.
Nice, that's exciting. So then we have 2 questions which I'll combine into one. They come from Algo Mark and Charles Spirit, which says, is set 5 crafting still on track for the end of this week? And then how long will the crafting window for set 5 be open?
Yeah, so even though we released all the packs in one on set 5, we're still going to stagger the crafting. So there'll be 2 big crafting periods. One is Saturday, and as we're getting ready for the testing for tomorrow, as long as the testing doesn't, completely, bomb or be terrible, then we're definitely on for this weekend. If something goes horribly wrong on the testing, obviously we'll have to sit down and see what we need to do, and we get it done before Saturday. So yes, we plan to still have it this Saturday. So that'll be about half of the total craftable cards will be available in 2 drops on Saturday, and then we'll probably wait, I'm thinking 2 months, just so new players that come in from now until 2 months from now have a chance to craft. So so crafting part 1, as long as everything doesn't run to the ground, will be on Saturday, and part 2 will be a couple months out, and we'll announce that once we fully plan it out.
Awesome. Okay, so then we have a few interesting questions about the pricing of the Alchemon. From AO, the question was, when the game first came out, it was very affordable. With pricing going up, what is the minimum a new player can expect to spend starting off now? And any tips on which characters to start off with?
Oh, pricing like previous sets, I would guess?
Yeah, I assume they mean like secondary sales of old sets.
Yeah, our anyone who has been around long enough, been around since set 2, definitely knows that nothing makes my skin crawl more than not having stock for people to find out about Alchemon and come at least buy a few commons. That's why we've increased the mints so much, because we're not playing the exclusivity game. We're playing the, everyone who wants to come play Alchemon can. So our plan is to always have an availability of cards. Like even right now, I guess I'll say all the good stuff from set 4 is gone. Definitely all the epics and legendaries are gone, but there's still plenty of commons, uncommons, and rares via quick evolve. So someone even coming in now could easily get 3 rares and be able to play and have a decent experience. And just right around the corner, we'll be having crafting for epics and stuff, which I think everyone who's is around a computer for a couple days and has a few Alchemon are able to craft up to a few epics at least. But that always depends on the demand of the people that are going to be there right when it drops.
Yeah, I think at least it makes it accessible because you guys have the more recent sets that you can still get commons for 5 Algo. So
yeah, exactly. The plan for that is just always be releasing new sets for people to collect and get, and not have the price go dramatically up on them until they're long gone.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, then we got a question from Rach, who said Alchemon has been committed to a low entry price of 5 Algo per common in the store since the beginning. Do you have any plans or thoughts around pegging that to USD, or will 5 Algo always equal 5 Algo to you guys?
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. So we are almost done with our seed round. We're just collecting the last bit of money before we announce it. It's no secret that we've done a seed round, so I'll mention it here. We're not like keeping it under wraps or anything. We just are waiting to get the last stuff done before we widely announce it. And we're very grateful for that. We've definitely, the way we've done things is that's allowed us to keep the community first and allowed us to keep our costs low. We have a 10-man team, which is not cheap. Like, if we didn't have these fundings, our Alchemon would be much more expensive, or the work would be going much slower. So we are very grateful to have that funding, because it's allowed us to keep prices low and do all the development we need to get the game off the ground without having to constantly scramble to sell things or to raise prices. That will get us into early next year, the funds we have from that, not including any sales and stuff we make, so that'll get us into next year. So we're all good until next year, but if this bear market goes on for a couple of years and Algo is, God forbid, 30 cents by the time we run out of that funding and we can't secure new funding, then we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board and either raise prices or lower the team, which both are definitely, to us, worst case scenarios. So we are kind of at the effect of the market and kind of at the effect of the growth of Algorand as a whole. But our intention is just to work hard, release a great product, keep everything entry level as much as we can, and not have to bring up any of those terrible decisions. And it's absolutely mandatory. And once we do, our intention is definitely to have governance voting, so it's not just us making those decisions, so it's the Alchemon community making those decisions.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think having the community involved in those sort of decisions is always great. Okay, then we have two questions on the toys. So Chief America said, considering the price of Alchemon toys, will there be any utility or earnings in the nearest future? And then also, will there be more toys for other sets?
We love the toys. We definitely plan to do all the Alchemon as toys. We definitely, and I kind of talked about this in the Discord a little bit, but, due to some factors, I knew there was a large chance that we wouldn't sell them out, and we made the decision to not lower the price to make sure they would sell out, because we want what we're doing with this one to be the same as set 2, 3, and 4, and not have a bunch of different mint numbers and have more things for people to think about when getting a toy. And also with this one, we're doing something, very cool, where we're giving everyone that owns these cards a toy of that card. So anyone who is yes, that's my favorite Alchemon, I have, a Shockner or whatever, and they're getting it for free, so they don't even have to buy a Shockner. So we're basically asking a bunch of people that don't own these cards, to buy the toy version of them. So that, and with, I wouldn't even say it's a high price. I mean, I think the commons is comes out to $10 USD, which for an NFT, may seem like a lot now, but 2 months ago, it was basically nothing for an NFT. So we made all these design decisions because we definitely want, we need ways to earn Alcocoin back. We want to do that with exclusive things. We want to do it with things that the community members can support and be proud of, because, kind of what I alluded to before, if we can't earn Alcocoin back in a natural way of what we've been doing already, then we're going to have to start changing things up, which would be less weekly rewards or increasing prices and adding buybacks to everything we sell and things like that. We really don't want to go that route, and we've been working really hard to release things for Alcocoin that people want. So it's definitely, we know the toys have no utility. We directly said that. We do intend to add utility to them, but we're just kind of keeping ourselves off the hook to focus on the bigger, more important part of the Alchemon ecosystem. But we definitely do intend to add utility. It's just nothing announced. One thing that I was thinking about, which, despite being totally against exclusivity, is having, a chat for everyone that owns an Alchemon toy. It just kind of shows that the people that are getting or collecting the toys, spending that Algo coin back to, give the team the chance to earn back, have them have, an exclusive chat or something that is easily sustainable, slightly demand, in demand, but we'll think of some more cool stuff. I don't think there's definitely not going to be any game utility. Like you're not going to get stat increases for owning toys. We're not going to go that route at all. But we're definitely planning to add some utility and stuff like that. We just kind of are keeping ourselves off the hook to focus on the bigger picture for now, and we'll make any announcements on that when we fully decide what the utility is.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like the fact that you guys are giving a toy to each person who owns one of the set Alchemon. I think that was a nice touch. So that was good to see. Okay, so then a bit of a technical question, which is actually a really interesting question from Loaf Pickle, who said, have you considered dropping an asset into the flag assets people need to add so they don't get wiped out when deleting 0 assets from your wallet to free up lost Algo?
Yeah, that's a good question. We just started making. I just made it a 1-of-1 NFT because we didn't need to send people things. That is a good question. I've thought about it a little bit, but not a lot, because we've ran across just a couple people who didn't earn their Alchemon coin and realized they had deleted it after adding it. So yeah, that's something we'll have to look into. I would say not a huge priority, but I think once we have some time to do something like that, even if it's just a cool picture NFT so people know not to send it back or delete it or something, it is something that we could add. The biggest thing would be, it's so much easier just for a player to go and approve an asset. But now if they approve an asset and then have to get that asset sent to them, that does make things a tiny bit more complex. It's definitely not something that, is too difficult to solve. But yeah, that's what I'll say on that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, question from Algo Mark, who said, when will attack ASAs be available for purchase, and will they be available to use in the game after purchase or only when the full game release comes out?
The plan is we're planning to have the smart contracts in the game to purchase them in game. We'll probably do a little pre-sale thing. We put it on Q2. We are pushing for the end of this month. We've got our artists, flat out finishing all the art stuff for them. I would say that probably all the art and ready to be minted stuff should be in days to maybe a week at the most to get all of them minted. And there's no reason we wouldn't do a pre-sale, just throw them up on our website, but we'll probably just pre-sale a percentage of them and then release, the rest in the game. But yeah, we have been thinking with the pre-sale, but yes, our plan is in the game to have everything that's currently on our website, all the sales contracts, except the toys. I don't think we talked about the toys, but having you can buy Alchemon directly in game via smart contracts. You can craft in game via smart contracts if you want, and you can buy the attack ASAs on our website and in game. So basically the game will just be a complete reflection of all the smart contracts of our website, except for toys. I don't think we're doing toys in game.
Nice. I think that'll be awesome having everything in game. Okay, then another question, last question in this category from Algo Mark, which is, will the marketplace purchases change with the launch of Algo Gold, or will those purchases remain in Algo?
Though all permanent assets like NFTs, the plan is to be with Alchemon. So the things that will change will be the consumable game things, like you'll buy potions with Alchemon Gold, and all the consumable stuff you would use in game is with Alchemon Gold. I'm not sure if this is in the plan for V1. Maybe Forrest can speak to it, but we do intend to, in the future, have Alchemon Gold also be a quick leveling. So, once the leveling system and evolution in game system comes out, you'll have to grind to level up your Alchemon to get evolutions in game. So then an Alchemon Gold will be a way to bypass that. Like you basically pay Algo Gold, which some, if not all of it, will get burned to quick level up your characters and evolve them in game. And then we also, thinking of the badge system, I don't know if I've talked about this much, but we also want like the badges to be kind of redeemed with Algo Gold. So you can't earn a badge just by like, I guess you could buy Algo Gold, but you can't earn it just by buying, with Algo or, Algo Coin. Like we want to try to make it so like if you earn a badge in game or something like that, or purchase a badge in game for something you did, like you'd have to burn Algo Gold to kind of show, it's more of a badge of honor that you used what you earned in game. Again, nothing concrete on that, but we want to kind of tie it with the badge and achievement systems. And
I
then,
think that's a good idea for the badge.
yeah, because then it just kind of puts it like, unwritten, but people can do whatever they want. They can buy Algo Gold, but we're trying to make it seem like you earned the Algo Gold to then get the thing. And then we do want to do a wider ecosystem thing with Algo Gold to kind of like help up and coming games, kind of do like staking systems and things like that. So if you have a bunch of Algo Gold from playing Alchemon, and then let's just, for an example, let's say, well, I'll just make up a game. Let's say a new up and coming game wants to get their token out there. You can then stake our token to earn their token, and it publicizes them. It gives us utility for Algo Gold. We don't see anything on that happening until next year, but that is like the long-term thing, is to then turn the rewards from in-game into kind of its own DeFi promotion upcoming game reward system.
I think that's an amazing idea.
Yeah, just to add to that, as far as Algo Gold in game on the V1 release, while we do have plans to use Algo Gold as a quick evolve, like bypass, it's probably going to be in the patch 1.0 or one of the earlier patches that come out with the game after the September launch. But it is absolutely in the works, just so everybody's aware.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Okay, so the next category is like token/tokenomics questions. If there's any that are like difficult to answer for legal reasons, that's fine. Just let us know. So Don Black asks, are there plans on launching the Alchemon coin on a CEX, or will it only remain tradable on a DEX?
Yes, we do. We do plan on doing that. Basically, again, we're all out focused on the game, but especially with our seed round raise and with the connections we've made, we do have avenues to that. It's just nothing we're focusing on this time, to be completely honest. But it is definitely in the future, the plan. But yeah, it's just definitely not something we're currently working on. We have the resources to get from point A to point B, so we're not too concerned about it. But yeah, there's the plan. It's just not being worked on yet.
Okay. I think the community would rather have everyone working on the game anyway, so that's good. Okay, so then a question from Elazar, who said, are there any plans for Algo Coin utility both in-game and otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're seeing the pivot to give Algo Coin more utility, which is buying the art pieces with the quick evolves and crafting, with the special attacks. There's just going to be more and more of this stuff. Yeah, there's just going to be more and more of this stuff. But the big thing is like the governance thing. Like this is a community project. This is not just the team behind Alchemon. Right now we're making all the decisions to get it off the ground, but we really want to focus on, yes, Algo Coin is a governance token, and it is what you get to make your say in game and what happens. That's the thing we definitely want to focus on, but then also you need it to get the best out of playing the game and being in the ecosystem, again, with the art, with the evolves, with the special attacks. Obviously, all the stuff you could buy off secondary for whatever other people are willing to sell it to you for Algo, so people don't have to be fully involved to get all this stuff. They don't have to earn Algo Coin to buy this stuff. I'm sure everyone who's earning Algo Coin are also the people buying the stuff, but you don't have to, with just how with crypto is set up. So yeah, we definitely want to just keep the cycle of Algo Coin moving in a circle of us paying it out, earning it back, paying it out, earning it back, and having the community use it when we need to make, big decisions. And so the biggest thing we want is we do want this to be an important governance thing, but then also have it be kind of the gears that turn the ecosystem, and then rewards will be more strictly Alka Gold that people will want to sell, basically.
I think that's a great way of doing it. Okay, so Algo Pod has a question about liquidity pools. Will there be any more liquidity pools for Alk, or would you consider one which is Alk slash Algo to Alk on Algo stake?
We don't want to. Yeah, I mean, our stuff kind of works backwards. We get reached out to from staking companies a lot, and we just turn them down because basically what we do is opposite. Everyone's staking their NFTs to earn tokens. We don't then want to turn around and let them stake those same tokens that they just staked for to then earn more tokens on top of that. Our issue is, we're paying out way too much with how much we're earning back. So right now we're in, the strong position of, let's earn it back. So we're not planning on, Yieldly was a one-time thing, which we think, was the right thing to do. And that was with partnership tokens that we had set aside for that. But yeah, we don't intend to just give people more Alka Coin for holding Alka Coin anymore in the future. And we've turned down a lot of those staking systems because it's just, we work opposite. You get the NFTs and those are staked for the token. So we're not going to double pay people for having the token. We do want to increase our liquidity. We're now legally, we're offshore, not in the US. So we can provide liquidity. I've been thinking about the best ways to do that. It's probably going to be one of the best ways to us earn Alka Coin back, being like the biggest liquidity provider and earning Alka Coin that people are selling, earning the most of it as the biggest provider.
Sure.
We kind of have to come up with a system of how we're going to, not rebalance the pools, but let's say we put in 100,000 Algo and the equivalent Alka Coin, and let's say a bunch of people sell Alka Coin like they do every week. Then how do we get that additional Alka Coin out of the pool without having to constantly reorganize what we have in there, probably a monthly basis, something like that. So where we can, without harming any pools in any way, how we can extract the Alka Coin we're earning from that. So we just kind of have to figure out the best way to do that. And, we might do a special sale or something like that to earn hey, this is exactly with the sales of these products, we're going to start building out Alchemon's official entries into liquidity pools. So that's kind of, that's always in the back of my mind and something I've been thinking about a bit, but always willing to hear feedback on that of the best way to get into it and also extract the Alka Coin to then put back in the system.
Yeah, sounds good. We have got a question now, which is also related to the tokens from Tano, who said, do you have any plans on using Alka Coin for future pack purchases?
No, we've never wanted to have people buy Alchemon with Alka Coin. So the idea behind that is, we've never wanted Alka Coin to be our team's payment. So we don't want, I don't want to pay Forrest and Hannah with Alka Coin, so then they have to sell Alka Coin for their paycheck. We've, from day one, we've never wanted that. We want our team paid with, real money or Algo. So our way of getting the main funds we use, quote unquote, is to get it in Algo. And the main driver of that is selling the Alchemon. So yeah, that's never been the plan. And we wouldn't intend to do that because we want to earn our Alka Coin back to keep it all in the system, but we also need to earn Algo. So the plan for that is always just Alchemon Packs, things like that, to keep the Algo going.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, next question from the Odyssey, who said, seeing as the Alka Coin usage for purchasing art has led to a bit of a balancing, is more of the usage being seen?
I mean, I think so. It's very interesting. So I kind of wish we weren't doing, in retrospect from today's viewpoint, I kind of wish we would have spaced the art, the crafting, and then the alch abilities separate. I mean, we're going to have probably like all three of those things are going to be released within 4 weeks of each other. Like, I don't, I'm pretty good at predicting players and what they do. Actually, I'm not. I don't know why I just said that. That's completely not true. I'm very bad at predicting what our sales will do. I don't know why that came out of my mouth. I'm famous for not predicting how fast things will sell out. But I knew they wouldn't on the art. Wow, I totally caught myself in a lie and completely forgot where I was going. So I wish those three things weren't so close together, because it did kind of take me by surprise that people literally weren't buying toys to make sure they could craft as much as possible a week away. Like, that one blindsided me. I did not predict that, but I also think that that's not a bad thing at all. People want to craft as much as possible. They want to keep their alch stack. They're still going to be spending it with us. They're not going to be selling it and lowering the price. So I'm like, that's fine with me. So it's literally going to be very interesting to see kind of where alch stands, a month from now, after all three of these major events have happened. And I'm just hoping we can, totally extract, what were the drivers to get alch back. What can we do to, reinforce that? What didn't work? What can we do to improve that? So I think with everything being so close together, it's going to be a little hard to like hit it 100% nail on the head. But, but I think we're up for the task and we can still pull it off. It just would have been nice to, not have it all so close together to kind of like be able to extract out exactly what is causing what. But I mean, it'll be fine overall. It's just a lot happening in a short period of time, which also is good.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Okay, so the last question we have on the token, which is from November, who said, will Alchemon ever get decimal places?
That's a good question. The only thing I could see on that is if it's just a complete barrier to a listing on a centralized marketplace. So, I mean, decimals, they're kind of like mirages. They don't actually mean anything. Every token has a certain number of parts with or without a decimal. A decimal is just more parts you can divide it by. The real way to look at it is that, Alchemon has, less parts than almost every other token on the market, which to me isn't really a bad thing. It's like just the complete opposite of the like Shiba, like you're getting 10 billion tokens by spending $1,000, and they have 1,000,000 decimal points, and you have all these high numbers and all these things, for these like psychological games that you're playing on people, which is like, so, that I'm definitely happy not to be like that boat or that position, but it just means there's less parts. That's all it means. It just means that one Alchemon is the same as like 0.00001 Bitcoin. It's just there's not a decimal and 5 zeros in front of it. So we don't necessarily see it as a huge thing. It just means that the smallest version of an Alchemon is going to be the same price as 0.0001 Alchemon, the smallest point of it. So it's kind of, in the large scheme of things, it's not really that important to us. Like, would it have been nice to think of that at the time? Yes, just to not have the stigma or whatever. But it's not for our ecosystem. I'm not saying the greater Algorand or crypto ecosystem. For our ecosystem, it is not an issue. The second it does, if there's some immovable object or burnt bridge because of it, we'll absolutely change it. We're not excited to like get everyone on board to swap their tokens or anything like that. But again, if it becomes necessary, we absolutely will.
Yeah, no, I get that. Okay, so then we have questions in the category of like the future of the game and future plans. We got quite a few on whether you guys plan to bring the game to mobile at some point, and if you do, like when would that be?
I can field this if you want to break, Cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mobile is absolutely it's something that's in development. We actually built a test version of it about a month ago or so, just to test out blockchain interactions with the game with Wallet Connect, which were all successful, which was really exciting. But we are still building the actual game out. So we're looking at a Q4 release for mobile, probably towards the later half of Q4 on both Android and iOS. iOS, we can't do App Store, but we're going to have a third-party release for that. But yeah, we're looking at end of this year.
Oh, no, that's exciting news. Okay, so then we have one from Coke and Rice who said, do you have any plans for a big marketing push for the game?
Yeah, probably when V1 comes out, we will. Marketing, to what I've found running Alchemon is everyone has a different idea of what marketing is. I think we do a great job of marketing in our community, and I'll be the first to admit, like, I'm not like a natural like shiller or attention grabber or anything like that. Like, I'm much more of a person that's like, let's work hard and the work will speak for itself. That's like my natural inclination towards marketing, but I know that's definitely not how things really work in crypto. Like, you definitely do need like eye grabbing things. So once we are, which will be V1, once we're proud of being like, here world, this is our game. This is what we have produced as a final product, and it's only going up from here. Then yeah, that's definitely something that, we will be pushing on all lines as much as we can. Yeah, that's what I'll say. When it gets into more specifics, I don't know. People have suggested things like paying to be on like, BitBoy Crypto or something like that. I don't think I'll ever do anything like that. Like pay people to like be on their channels or anything like that. But
Yeah.
there's plenty more things that we could be doing, and that once we're ready to like just lay down V1 and say, this is our product, we're happy to like go all out. That's going to mean a lot of different things to a lot of people, and I honestly don't even know what that means for me right now, but that is the plan.
Okay. Hopefully the convention will be a good marketing push
Yeah.
as well. So. Okay, next question is from Algorand Blog, who asks, what is the Alchemon's team's vision for the game? Is there an ideal that they work towards in the medium to long-term future?
Forrest, Hannah, you guys want to take that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the way I see it, this is kind of a living game that's not ever going to be quite complete. We're going to constantly be adding things to it. Constantly releasing new patches with PvP and boss battles and story modes and
tournaments
and all sorts of stuff that kind of just continuously expands the scope of what Alchemon is on as a game. Obviously, we have the Metaverse, in the back of our minds, something we're talking about for next year. Which can expand upon that even further. But as for the game, we really want to continue to expand and take user feedback and see what they want. We've already done that with a lot of our in-game mechanics, with what users have tested out in early beta versions and said they like this, they don't like this. We've made those changes. So we want to continue to get that feedback and see what people want in the game, and not just make what we want, but what players are actually going to want to play. So the sky's the limit, the way I see it. So we just want to continue building and expanding as much as we can.
That's great. I think with your community as well, they would obviously help drive what they would like changes in the game, because you guys have an amazing community already. So, okay, question from Stats.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just going to add on to that real quick. I'll just say, we definitely want to get, this 3v3 battling system done, and some high level things we've talked about is, we do want a place where, the Metaverse is overused, but, we do want people to have their own, Alchemon profile pic that they can then take and have their own like Alchemon farm or their own Alchemon lava pit or something like that. We do want it to turn from a battling game into like a more social experience as well. That's what it's going to be going over to like co-op boss battles, to the metaverse and things like that. We really want it to turn into, not just something that's fun to play, but something that it's fun to do with other people and to be laid back or to play hardcore, to kind of meet everyone's needs in one way or another. And that's very, very high level, but that is definitely something that we're working towards.
Yeah, I think that leads perfectly into the next question we had, which was, what is the vision for the land pre-sale and Alchemon's contribution to the metaverse?
Yeah, so we definitely, being naive, even thinking this months ago that any day now, someone's going to come out with a metaverse on Algorand and we'll just get to, plug in or, buy a couple plots of land and then we'll be able to be in a metaverse. It's becoming very obvious that, no one's building a native metaverse that other people are building into, at least if they are. It's very, very quiet. A lot of the rage on metaverses, is like paying companies to be in their metaverse, but it's not Algo native. It's just like, a website, a Web 2 website where you log in and have a metaverse character, which is like, that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to just like buy someone's metaverse and use their characters to be in there talking about Alchemon, But we also know that, we are, even with 10 employees, we're busting our butts to produce what we're producing and get out what we're getting out. And we know that the metaverse is going to be a huge undertaking. So, ideally, we will get to the point where, in 3-4 months, release our V1, have a bunch of players, be kind of the, we don't have to be the biggest thing on Algorand, but be a, giant thing on Algorand, one of the like main things on Algorand, and then have enough interest and market action that we can raise a few million to hire more people and build out an awesome metaverse. At the rate that we're going with no more funding, it's a ways out there, but it's definitely something we're still committed to doing as long as people are still, buying our Alchemon and playing our games. We're definitely moving in that direction, but ideally, we'll raise $5 million at the end of the year. Market turns around, we raise $5 million, and we just go ham on it and get it out as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, it's a good point also, on the market and everything. So a question we had, which is also leading from talking about the market trends, Algo Mark asked, does the current roadmap of the game get impacted at all with the recent market trends?
I think the only things on there that we will have to start. So everything in 2022, I would say, is not covered by our fundraising. Everything through this year, I would say, is comfortably covered by our fundraise. So I forget exactly what's on there. It's definitely like Metaverse and the DeFi suite for Alcacoin or AlcaGold, the DeFi suite for that. And I think there's one or two other things. Those are not covered. So if we get to the end of this year and we can't raise another round and the market still sucks, like that's when things will have to like change, So again, by the end of this year, we plan to have, the Alcacoin holders making those important decisions. So it's not just us, but yeah, ideally, we're not stuck in a terrible market for the next 2 years, which, of course anything can happen, but, hopefully we just don't have to go down that route, because then we'll just have to lower rewards, increase prices, or lay off staff, which is all very not fun things that we don't want to do. So, not to be like glib or just airy-fairy, definitely don't want to have to make those decisions, but we're hoping that we can make the community make those decisions with us, and it's not just us deciding what's best.
Yeah, no, that sounds good, and hopefully it doesn't come to a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's two questions I wanted to cover that were posted recently in the Discord as well. One is from Shrina, who said, is the team planning to do a graphical overhaul in the future?
Yeah, not with existing NFTs, with the game development stuff and the website. Like, we know our website needs an upgrade. It's just, we don't want to make it like too futuristic and crazy. We do want to like stand out and not just be like, a cool website with no, substance. That's always been kind of our thing. But yeah, we will at some point. So early on, probably 3 or 4 months ago, we got some feedback from a consulting firm. And probably, I wouldn't say before V1, maybe before V1, we'll probably do that again and just kind of see what we can upgrade, what we can go from. We definitely, our aesthetic is the whole like 90s. Like, we're not going to have like cutting edge, graphics of like, I don't know how to describe it. We definitely want to keep it in the more simpler 90s vibe. That's absolutely what we're going for with the game. So we're not trying to like make it like futuristic, year 2025 or something, or 2025, like 2200, So I don't know. That's what I'll say on that. We're not opposed to it, but we're definitely function over that stuff for now.
Yeah, and I think your guys' current graphics is what like makes you unique. If you like made it look super futuristic, you'd probably look like every other game. So, yeah. Okay, then a question from Algo Mark, who said, I see you've added the interactive Alc decks and the staking calculator on the website. Those are awesome. Are there any other tools that the team plans to add to the site in the near future?
Yeah, I'm going to send that one to Hannah.
Yeah, so currently I'm working on building out more of a profile setting on the website where you can come in, connect your wallet, and all of your Alchemon information is just going to automatically show there. So you'll see your staking rewards, you'll see what Alchemon you have in the training grounds, you'll see what Alchemon you're missing from earlier sets. And then I've also recently talked about adding in game statistics. Probably really far down the road, but I'd like to have maybe leaderboard or something that'll show your wins and losses in the games, your levels and experiences. Again, that's just in the talks right now, but it is an idea I've had. But in the near future, it'll be that profile, just the basics of it, kind of taking everything from the Alcudex page, the calculator that everyone has coined it, and putting them in like one central location. So you go connect your wallet and everything you want to know about your Alchemon collection is right there.
That's awesome. I think another question that leads on from that is someone asked, well, Grinning Fool asked, is there plans to have a hunting ground checker like the training ground one, so you can see what Alchemon you've sent?
Well, I'll take that. So we're changing the hunting grounds dramatically with this next with the beta part 2. So the hunting grounds, every entry. Well, first of all, they're not going to be staked in the hunting grounds anymore. I'm not going to be holding on to people's cards anymore. We'll be going through a thing where we're sending everything back from that, and it'll be completely transformed to every entry in the hunting grounds is every game you win on a weekly basis. So just like you'll earn Alka coin for every game you win, you'll also earn one entry into the hunting grounds rewards. So someone who is playing the game a lot and wins 100 games versus someone who wins the game, wins 10 games, they'll have, 10 times more of a chance of winning something at the hunting grounds than someone that played 10. And people that played 0 will have no entries in the hunting grounds. The idea behind this is we definitely want to reward players that are like actively playing the game. The hunting grounds definitely has grown, shrunk. We've grown, and the hunting grounds no longer kind of works. There's still people that win things in there that never claim them, so we just don't send out rewards. It's probably, I would say, maybe only 15 to 20% of the time, but we definitely want to reward people that are in there playing the game and things like that. We definitely plan to still do tons of giveaways and things like that via the Discord and stuff, so you're not completely left out if you aren't, playing the game. But we're definitely going to be pivoting over the dedicated Hunting Grounds awards to people that are playing.
That sounds great. Okay, so I think we have a few more questions, not a ton. So the one question that was put in the Discord from Waz and Carbide was, do you guys have any plans for any future collaborations?
Yeah, I mean, our community set is one giant collaboration, so you'll see that when it comes out. We do have ideas and have talked to people on the next community set after that. We haven't done any work on it besides, signing up other NFT projects to have their art and us making their characters into Alchemon for the game. So besides having those initial conversations and getting some agreements and stuff, we haven't actually put any work into it on it yet, but we will after the launch of this community set. We'll get moving on that. And yeah, we love collaborating. I don't think I've ever turned anyone down for a collaboration ever. So anyone who reaches out to me will know that I'm definitely, I'm here in the space with everyone else, and definitely am down to promote other projects and things like that. So everything's on the table as far as I'm concerned. And yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so the last category we have, which is just some of the more fun questions or questions that could really fit into the prior categories. So I know Erin has one she wanted to specifically ask.
Yeah, I'm going to come out of the Twitter space shadows to answer my question. So I know parents can't have favorites, but which Alchemon is your favorite?
Mine is number one Geist. Number one, literally and figuratively.
And he's one of the OGs as well.
That's right. Alchemon number one, and I will always love it. I've been thinking about getting a Geist tattoo even.
Oh my god. You should do it. I think each team member needs to get their designated Alchemon tattoos.
Well, I'll let Hannah and Forrest say who they're getting tattoos of then.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about any tattoos quite yet, but Venus Rock is my favorite. The 3-headed snakes on a big cat body. I just think it looks awesome. That's my favorite.
So my favorite is actually Sad Mia that we put in the game. She's not an NFT, or it's not an NFT, but Sad Mia is my icon on everything now. So I keep bugging Cliff about minting a Sad Mia NFT for me.
That's the icon on our Twitter space right now.
I love it. Get on with it, Clifford.
Okay, and then we have a question for Algo Mike, who said, what are you most excited for about NFT NYC?
I'm definitely most excited to give away free stuff to introduce people to Alchemon. And we also have a big surprise for everyone. I absolutely promise you will see it on social media, but I hope you can be there in person to see it, because I don't think you will believe it once until you do see it. That's all I'm going to say.
That sounds interesting. Then we have from Shaggy Bigfoot said, do you have any other new merchandise coming out? I've got 2 Alchemon t-shirts already. I would love a hoodie or a hat and a toy.
Yeah, we are in talks. We are in talks with a 3D printing company. We haven't quite gotten any prototypes yet, but we are trying to see what we can do to 3D print the toys. It's a little interesting since they're in packaging. So who we're working with is Omen 3D. You can check them out. They've done a bunch of 3D prints of Algo NFTs. You've probably seen them around. So we are kind of working with them to see what we can get printed of these toys, and then the idea would be everyone that owns a toy could get one printed. The problem is that, the 3D printing stuff right now, they're hand painting them, so super expensive just because they're literally having someone paint them, and with all the details and color on the toys and the packaging, it's just not feasible. Like, you'd be paying $600 to have someone hand paint the toy they 3D printed, which just doesn't make sense. So they're basically, and I don't want to like put all their business out there, but they've gotten a new multicolor printer, and they're going to be seeing what they can do with the toys with that, so they won't have to hand paint anything, so they can just put in the 3D files and spit out something that looks good enough to sell to people. So we're really hoping that comes out well. Obviously, if it just comes out as a garbled mess, we're not going to be releasing that or doing anything with it. But we also have gotten another couple other contacts for things. So basically, we're definitely checking the toys out and definitely want to make something happen. And as long as it makes sense, and even if it does cost like $500, we may still bring it to people. But obviously, we're not going to be like super stoked about that. But we'll bring to market what we can once it makes sense. It's just the kind of the setup to get all that stuff done is not really like streamlined or easy at this point in time. We do have hoodies. So all of our shirts are done through Crescendo, who is partnered with Algo Gems. So you can get all that stuff there. But we do have a Printful. Yeah, it's called Printful merch shop on our website where you can get hoodies there. You can get like coffee cups and hoodies. So they're on there. You can get hoodies there. We do need to do hats. The problem is getting something that we like, that we want people to buy, is kind of hard because they make one and then they ship it out to you, and then you have to make sure you like it, then put it on the marketplace. So we do plan to have hats soon. It's just something that it's not been a super priority, but we do want to add those at least to the Printful shop because they do the best worldwide shipping. Anyways, I could go on and on about the merch stuff. There's just not a lot of easy ways to make it work worldwide because you're paying more because they make them as people ordering them. So anything we release is going to be expensive unless we become our own screen printing company who then figures out how to do worldwide shipping that makes sense, or buying a piece of a warehouse with another company and paying up front for all the costs and everything. It's just all this stuff is not really simply worked out for where things are at with NFTs and physical merch stuff, but we're always kind of keeping our finger on that vein to get people what they want.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult with merchandise sometimes, but it's good to hear you guys have some stuff coming out. Okay, so the two last questions. One we got in Discord a few minutes ago, which is from Adams Joe, and said, without the release of the mobile version yet, would the hunting ground method change take effect before or after the release?
It will be, the hunting grounds will be taking effect with our beta part 2. So, and hopefully before the end of this month, we have some tight timelines to hit, which we're pushing to hit. We're hoping to still have it, hopefully the last day of June is what we're hoping. Forrest is going to hate me for saying that out loud, so let's just say a month from now. But we are pushing to have it before the end of June. We have, again, tight deadlines, which we're pushing. I don't think I'll have like everything sent back by the end of June from the existing hunting ground. So we'll kind of, in waves, I'll kind of be sending things out, and I'll still be rewarding those people that have their cards in the hunting grounds, and just slowly send back cards and keep doing draws out of that while doing the new draws with the in-game way. So there will be like 2 hunting grounds probably for a month or 2 until everything's sent back from the staking wallet.
Okay, that makes sense. And then I think the last question we have is from Buster Hawk, who asked, if you were starting the project now with the new tools available to us, is there anything you would do differently?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to say on that one. I saw that question a little bit ago. I think, like now I'm like kicking myself, like everything I do manually, I'm like, oh my God, I have to get this automated. Oh my God, I have to get this automated. But, it's like there was no way to automate this stuff back then at, our skill levels, We've been just kind of, the whole way along, we've just kind of bootstrapped ourselves. We were one of the first people doing LP farming, which wasn't anywhere near real LP farming. We were just sending people more Alcacoin if they added, tiny man liquidity. We were the first people doing that. And that's what we've always been doing. We've just been doing, we want to see this. We can't do it the proper way, but we know how we can do it. So let's do it, you know? Yeah. And that always kind of, I wouldn't say it's, you know, haunted us. It's just, we know what people want and we're trying to give that the way we can, and we do it. And then it grows too big and then we kick ourselves, you know, but would we have grown big if we weren't doing those things, you know? So there's no way I can really say like there's anything I would change in the past. I think I probably would have, you know, knowing the growth and stuff, I would have like held some lines on this isn't happening until it's automated. But even then, like, who knows if waiting a month to automate something, if there would still be demand after that month, if I just completely shut things down to automate them, you know? There's just no way to know. So I would say more automation. But again, I can't even say 100% certainty that that would have worked, you know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, so I think that's all the questions we had. Before we end this, I just want to say to everyone, we'll have the YouTube link out probably, I don't know, by the end of tonight. And sometimes takes a while to get these things onto YouTube. But we really, really appreciate everyone's questions. We will run the giveaway for the 20 Set 5 Alchemon straight after this and post the winners in the channel. But otherwise, thank you so much to Forrest, Hannah, and Clifford. We really, really appreciate you guys' time. They were great answers, and I think it was super helpful to anyone listening.
Thank you so much for having us. It was really great to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, the last thing I'll say is we're going to keep building, and as long as we have players, we'll keep building and pushing the scene forward, which we're excited to do.
And also, you know, find us on Discord if you have more questions or anything. You know, we're always happy to communicate with the community on as much as we can. So find us on Discord.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.